Wrestling Mayhem Show. Since 2006, the pioneer in pro wrestling podcasting.
This show is brought to you by
The Wrestling Mayhem Show. Since 2006, the pioneer in pro wrestling podcasting.
This show is brought to you by IndieWrestling.us and IndieWrestling.network for your independent wrestling entertainment. Slice on Broadway, supporting Pittsburgh podcasting with the perfect pepperoni pizza.
Just wait, just wait, just wait, just wait, just wait. Wait for the perfect time, then attack. Don't give up what you want, take it back. Wait for the perfect time, then attack. Do what you got to do, make it last. Wait for the perfect.
It is the Wrestling Mayhem Show, episode 859. Tuesdays we've been talking about professionalized wrestling. I'm Mike Sorg at Sorgatron on the Twitter here in the Sorgatron Media Studios in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, with my compatriot, my Tuesday compatriot, Mad Mike of Beacon, New York, the only Mayhemmer with a feature endeavor letter from the WWE.
Yes, happy early Star Wars Day.
Yes,
Sorg.
and bonjour to our chat room. Bonjour.
Bonjour, chat
We're
room.
very French night tonight. Oh, we're very fancy and French tonight, or we're actually French. Which welcome, out here in the wrestle lands. So we're gonna have. Hey, I gotta be honest. Programming, we're gonna have a little signing. I'm gonna say we're gonna attempt to have a shorter show. I should not say anything and surprise you with a short show, because I am coming off a stomach flu, which is why I didn't get to hang out with Mike this weekend, and as planned, at least one of us planned, and I had to go to Wisconsin and buy a cheesehead for work. That is Mike. That is a legit Mike. I'm going to buy this cheesehead and I'm going to write it off with my client.
Excellent.
So
I've worn a cheesehead before. They're
spacious. I mean, I got a big noggin.
they're fascinating.
I'm pretty
They're
sure
fascinating.
you have a similarly large noggin, sir. So I think I look forward to your hat advice.
My head. I'm not sure how big my head is. I know it's an oddly shaped head.
Don't ask the audience how big your head is.
Oh no. Well, how big my head is and how big my ego is are very different things. Yes. But yeah, no, it's an okay sized head. I think I wear my fitted hats at like 7 3/4 or something.
I don't
like
even
that.
know
So,
what
you
my number is for a fitted hat. So, but
Yeah.
I'm not fancy with the hats. Like you.
Before we get, Podner says just posting since I won't make it to the end. He learned that wrestling is good, and Carmella and Corey having a baby, and Nikki Cross almost done for Masters, and those are both excellent things.
By the way, Sam Adonis, I don't know how many tweets he had about being an uncle this week.
Oh my! Oh no! Oh no! He's Uncle Sam.
He is. Yeah, he is.
Oh my god!
Oh
Is
my
he gonna come out of
God.
retirement just doing Uncle Sam gimmick?
What? Sam Adonis?
Yeah, I thought he was retired.
Dude, he's doing like big time AAA shows around in front of like 50,000
I thought I
people.
read somewhere he retired.
Ooh, what? Sam Adonis? You think it's somebody
yeah,
else?
no.
You think it's somebody else?
I might be thinking of someone else. All right, so he's got to do an Uncle Sam gimmick.
I mean, he may have retired from certain territories. I don't know, but
Maybe
dude,
that's what I'm thinking.
I mean, he's practically a neighbor. No, he's not a neighbor, but he's at least he's one of these.
He's in the
mountains.
area.
He's around. He's around. He's one of those like. If I spent more time in the city, I'd see more Sam. Actually, probably not because he travels as much as I do. But anyways, what the hell are we doing? This is a Wrestling Mayhem Show. You can check out everything at WrestlingMayhemShow.com. You can hit up that email address.
Good time.
Good times at WrestlingMayhemShow.com.
Should we do a Star Wars Good Times?
Oh my God! That's Thursday, isn't it? Oh no.
Yeah.
Oh.
Good times.
There you go. I like it. Also, on the at Mayhem Show on the Twitter, Wrestling Mayhem Show Facebook group is where a lot of discussion happens. But we are also over on the Discord, which is linked over at WrestlingMayhemShow.com, as well as over on the Reddit for Wrestling Mayhem Show, that you can join us there when we're live about every Tuesday at 10 p.m. Eastern Time, or relatively shortly after when the NXT rundown is over, especially when indie wrestling is talking. Oh my God, my heart. That's not the side my heart's on, but it's close enough.
Her being carried off into the sunset by Dexter Lumis.
Mm-hmm.
Just hits you right in the feels.
You can also support the show. You can subscribe to the podcast or wherever fine podcasts are sold. And also, you can hit us up at patreon.com/WrestlingMayhemShow, including our friends at the Fan in the Show level, Bodiggity! Woo! As well as Ed Burke, Team Hammerfist, and Bobby F. J-Town. And at the Poppy Club level, Rats in a Trench Coat, Tony Kincaid, and this, I thought I updated this, but I don't think this app updated on this app. We have Dave Podner, who is loading. Shit, this is loading slow. Dave Podner, who...
That's a weird thing for him to be listed as.
Sorry, he's got a new listing, and I'm going to put it in here. Dave Podner, spouse of Ruth's Jewelry Affair at ruthsjewelryaffair.com.
Say, there we go.
There you go.
There we go.
I told you, utilize the space that you're paying for.
Mm-hmm.
And at the Pizza Club level, Doc Remedy and The Riz, and at the manager level, Bradley. You guys can support the show too at patreon.com/WrestlingMayhemShow. Oh geez, that reminds me, we do have a, I don't know, we want to talk about draft. We want to go to the voicemail, and we don't have a voicemail necessarily. Listen, the phone number doesn't work anymore, but who uses phone numbers and phones anymore? You know what you can do is you can leave a voice memo, and you can send it to that email address. Good times at WrestlingMayhemShow.com. If you give me a moment here, and actually, we should talk about the draft first, because I need to hook into something so we can listen to the voicemail.
Do you feel a draft in here, Sorg?
I do feel a draft. That's where I'm wearing the sweater. Hold on, it's getting warm. The draft's over, so we can take our sweaters off, okay?
That's true.
There we go. Okay.
There we go.
Sorry, it is getting warm in here, though. So there's a draft, I understand.
There was a draft, and oh my, did NXT get hosed?
Oh my, it got stripped for parts, sir.
Yeah, it really did. At least the NXT women's division.
Mm-hmm.
The men, like, okay, the men wasn't too bad, but yeah. All right, so should we talk? All right, what was your biggest surprise in the draft? Or do you want to like run down all the picks?
No, I don't want to run. I don't want to do any of that.
Okay.
Mike, I don't want to do any of this. I don't want to talk about the draft. I don't, to be quite honest. I don't have a big surprise. Nothing. Everything. Listen, everything about the draft, as it always has been and always will be, to Sorg is meh.
Okay.
I am the worst wrestling fan.
AJ Styles back.
It was good to see AJ Styles back. Yeah. Okay, the surprises. Did we get any split ups? We really didn't.
No split ups at all. That was very surprising.
You know what the surprise is? We didn't do anything to make me feel like it mattered. Who's making the choices back there for Raw and SmackDown? Nobody's competing for people.
Yeah.
This is my problem. Well, we decided, and SmackDown has decided, Mr. SmackDown has decided to pick AJ Styles and the crew.
They did kind of indicate that the people who made the announcements were part of the boardroom.
Okay.
Then you had RVD.
Okay.
And I can't imagine RVD being part of that board.
Sure, why not? I mean, why not? Why not?
I will say one of the things that I think is interesting, and this is something that we haven't done before, is that certain people have declared themselves free agents.
Yes.
That is an interesting wrinkle in the draft that hasn't happened before, and I like that. And if it means that we could eventually get Mustafa Ali on NXT going against Carmelo Hayes, yes, and please.
Okay.
Because the list of free agents are guys who need a refreshing for the most part.
Sure.
Like you got Baron Corbin, you got Cedric and Shelton, you got Dolph Ziggler, Elias, Mustafa, Amos, Von Wagner, and Zion Quinn, which...
That tells me that's the we don't have anything for you list.
That's
what that tells me.
I don't know. It's a lot of Raw guys.
Mm-hmm.
It's a lot of Raw guys that had no direction.
Okay.
So I think it means that they definitely have like I think I wouldn't be surprised if at least half of those people go to NXT.
Okay. All right.
Like Cedric and Shelton going in for a tag title run like the New Day had. You want to give me Cedric and Shelton versus Gallus or against the Creeds? Fuck, give me them against the Creeds. Yeah, I'll take that.
Okay, so I like that. Like, okay, I'm hoping, and I'm not. This is like a show me, don't. You know, I don't. I'm not excited about the potential energy. Yeah. That's kind of the thing. Don't you know? Okay, we went through the process. The process was the process. And we get to do the thing. We get to do the last time these guys are going to be facing off kind of deal, you know, for the next like week and a half or whatever, or half a week, I guess. And that's fine and cool. We're going to get Nakamura and Cross, and that'll blow off, and then we split up, right?
Yeah.
I appreciate the idea that we're going to be more focused. We don't have these storylines taking up both shows. Things like that between Judgment Day and things like that. That all worked going into Mania, and it was very focused as far as that goes. It is good. They're like, hey, we got big rosters. Hey, we're not injury. I mean, because probably the biggest thing that led to the brand breakdown was we had a bad rash of injuries for a while, didn't we? Of all the top talent, so they really needed to start cross-pollinating. Actually, no, we haven't had a direct split since before COVID, have we? In the long run.
Yeah, pretty much.
Because COVID really necessitated, like, no, we just need all hands on deck at this point, right? So, I mean, and that's fine. And that's fine. That's fine. And we're getting back to business as usual. And we have all the talent building back up. And we're figuring all this stuff out. And we're figuring out what to do with all these pieces that we have. And we're bringing pieces up to see what we can do with them. Fine. I love the idea. I hope that we get some good unexpected stuff. I hope it truly shakes things up. You know, okay, there's a new title. That's fine. Titles have been unified and separated and newified so many times. It doesn't matter to me anymore. This is just a process, just like there's going to be a WrestleMania every year, just like there's going to be a Backlash probably every year. You know, it's just part of the process we've been doing for 20 years at WWE, right? They've really kind of set in those ways, and they just have maybe a slighter paint on it. Honestly, I think they're using all the same fonts for the draft title. So it's like straight down to it, and that's fine. And this is where you know, and this is where WWE, the brand is strong, and the people are here for it. The masses are here for it, and that's fine. I'm not saying that any of this is bad. I'm just saying it's not for me, and I'm just like, show me what you're going to do with it. I don't give a shit about this whole pomp and circumstance. I want to see what match is coming out of the gun. Give a shit about tuning in Monday or Friday night, right? So
that's fair.
That's it. I'm just over it.
It's kind of like a preview.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of like a preview of stuff you could see. Like we could see The Way against Judgment Day, and I'd be here for that because they're both on Raw.
Mm-hmm.
Like that'd be a really interesting concept. I do like that some of the bigger feuds that we have been separated.
Yeah.
Like Judgment Day's on one show, LWO's on another show.
So we're not going to be running this train into SummerSlam.
Yeah. Like like the Usos are on SmackDown, Owens and Zayn are on Raw.
Mm-hmm.
I did think it was weird that the Bloodline wasn't split up.
Mm-hmm.
So that storyline is still going, but it definitely seems like there's gonna be
Usos are on the same show.
Usos and Roman and Solo are all on SmackDown.
Okay, I didn't know where they landed with Usos. I'm excited to see what Grayson Waller does up there, what they do with Indy up there.
Grayson Waller's speech when he got drafted.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, that's the kind of stuff I love. That's the kind of stuff that really gets me going about the draft. Like, I love that.
Isla and Alba coming up there. I think the other girls from NXT, I think, are good into the mix.
Mm-hmm.
I think they're going to get lost up there, but you know, there's more people for them. Hopefully, they step up on the bigger stage. I don't know, but you know, it is more stuff for them to play with and see who comes out. NXT, I was Eamon and Merlin were here earlier because they were on the Awesome Cast, so we were watching NXT, and they're like, yeah, NXT got just pulled. Like anybody of value almost got just yanked out of there.
I'd say the women's division
got
fleeced. The men's division, Cameron Grimes was already gone.
Mm-hmm.
He was already gone. Indus Sher wasn't doing anything. Odyssey Jones wasn't really doing anything. He was a perennial guy on Level Up.
Okay.
The only real big
So dude went from next level up to main roster.
I mean, he's been on NXT, but he was like,
but hey,
he was a mainstay on Level Up.
I mean, even if you went from Level Up to main event, that's a move.
Yeah, but like Pretty Deadly was expected to move, at least from me, especially after they slept with the fishes last week. like that to me was an expected move. So I wasn't thrown off by that. NXT's male tag division is fine. There's nothing to worry about there. But the women's division, I think I think that's why they had Indy close the show tonight, and they had that big brawl. Like, don't worry, the women's division's okay. Like, yes, the singles division is fine.
You probably don't know who any of these girls are, but we got a lot of them, and it's gonna work out.
I knew who all of them were, Sorg. Knew who all of them.
Just because you have NXT superpowers
from my Ivy Niles.
Just because you have your NXT roster Performance Center flashcards that you're working on every day, Mike.
No, it's because my head's big. My head's so big, it's full of NXT talent.
Head's so big it can't fit a hat. Anyways, cool. We're done with it. I can't wait to see. I want to watch SmackDown in Puerto Rico. I really hope I'm not busy.
Yeah, that's gonna be a good show.
Listen, bro, I'm on the road, and I kind of want to sit there and watch SmackDown and Backlash. Okay, I think in my hotel room.
Backlash is gonna be a good show.
Yeah, I'd be like, I'm sorry, Dutters. I don't think we're going to see the sights of Oshkosh this Saturday night. We're watching Backlash. Okay.
Well, Sorg. The thing about Oshkosh is you can pretty much get an overall view of everything.
I don't get it. What's happening here?
Overalls.
Oshkosh is actually some kind of like, I'm going to learn about Oshkosh. I know they've been sponsors at events, and they're actually, I think, hosting this one. So,
okay.
Anyways, yeah, they're like, I think they're the main organizers as a company for this one. They do vehicles, I think. I'm a terrible. Listen, I am not a representative of this company. Okay,
Tina got right away.
I'm sure. Like, it's all I can think of is dog. Okay. Anyways.
Yeah. No, that's fair. It's good. I'm curious to see where these new rosters go. I'm really curious to see if they take a risk with who the new world champion is on Raw.
I doubt it because I doubt it.
I doubt it. Seth seems like the most likeliest of choices.
I think it'd be great.
But you know who I'd love to see? Nakamura.
Yeah. Oh, wow. Now we're both on and Nakamura.
Yeah. Like, because since he's come back, they are packaging him and presenting him differently.
I think after he went into that Muda match, he's been seen in a different light.
Yeah. And also, he's actually getting mic time.
I know, right?
Which didn't happen before.
He hasn't been around much in the Triple H era. So,
no, I also heard, I don't know how true this is. I thought I heard somewhere he was dealing with nagging injuries too.
Yeah, I think he was just doing a healing session and had the Muda match coming up. So
it could have been like a Kenny Omega thing.
Yeah. So they just kind of gave him time. We were like, hey, heal up. We're gonna do some big stuff with you. Which makes sense. Like, because he seems like, and I hope that eventually they could build him up to be like a big WrestleMania main eventer. To the point where, and I don't even know if he was in New Japan. He was more of the he was the IC guy or light heavyweight or whatever they call it, right? But still, like, he could be, like, I wish.
I think he could be the new world champion.
I mean,
I don't think.
Whoa! And I know this seems like retreads, but this Nakamura, if we're building out the serious, and he has like baller feud with Gunther.
Okay, but I mean,
we have done that.
Yes,
You're right.
But
that was like him and Boog's version. I don't know. Like,
the thing that upsets me is it doesn't seem like Sheamus is getting that Intercontinental title anytime soon.
No, but
that makes me very sad.
Does he need it? He's had every belt
except for that one. That's
right.
He needs it.
That's right.
He's never won it.
Well,
that's
something.
Why he needs it.
Well, that is something. You put that when you're doing stories. You're saying, oh, all right, we're just going to put that in our pocket
But
for
we
later.
do have Drew on Raw. So
Yes.
Drew and Gunther singles still hasn't happened. And now it can.
I want it. And Money in the Bank is in London.
Yeah. By the way, I think it's a red herring that Cody's on Raw.
Really?
I think it's a red herring.
Okay.
I think Cody's winning Money in the Bank. I think Cody's winning Money
Do we did we when we did Money in the Bank last, it was just the men's and the women's and you picked the champion, right? Okay. So we're at that point here. Okay.
You know what would be lovely? And this won't happen because A, it's too creative, and two, it's for me. What if Sheamus won Money in the Bank and cashed in on Gunther?
Oh my.
What if that scenario? Because I mean, hell, Theory cashed it in on the U.S. title. There's now precedent for that.
By the way, I want to point out we had a message from a friend of the show, Jock Sampson, today.
Oh, okay.
To you. Yeah. Well, I'm going through old clips, and I posted the one of a few weeks ago when we talked about Gunther, maybe approaching Honky Tonk Man's thing. So, and the message was something. I think I put it in the Slack earlier. If you want to go read that. Let me go double check that real quick. It was just it's Honky Tonk Man. It's honky, and y'all know it.
Well, it's because you spelled Honky Tonk Man.
Did I spell it wrong?
Yes.
Honky Tonk Man. It's honky, and y'all know it. I didn't in the video. Oh, I did.
Yeah.
I added a Anita Honky Tonk. I'm sorry about that.
Yeah, you were thinking Honky Kong.
Honky Kong. Okay. Okay.
He's the leader of the bunch. You know him well. He's finally back to swing that guitar.
Yep.
HK. Honky Kong.
You have no idea how many of those old Nintendo songs we've been listening to on the road trips lately. I'm like, yo, the DK rap was in that movie. Anyway,
the DK rap was in that movie. It's a great rap.
Yep.
I used to know the whole thing.
And by the way, and if you haven't seen the Super Mario movie, don't worry. Apparently, it's on Twitter all the time. Anyways,
still though, go see it. Go out of your way to see it. It was very good.
It was good.
It was very good.
So, anywho, you want to get into? Let me do a quick ad, and we'll get into our voicemail.
Okay.
All right. Check out indiewrestling.us. You bored? You want some more wrestles in your life? Watch more wrestling. indiewrestling.us. We just posted VCW Sweet Victory, featuring. What was on that show? I'm sorry. There's been so many. Listen, guys. I've edited about 4 shows and directed 2 or so in the last 2 weeks. In the last week, actually. So it's all blending together. But Sweet Victory has the Beast Man. It has the Cowpoke Paul. It has Remy LeVay. It has the Rad Boys. And it's some fantastic stuff down in West Virginia. But also, just because it's the last thing I did, this one's fresh on my mind. Spring Beatings. That's a hell of a name. 2PW. Those guys, Mike, they ran out of seats in the venue up there in Worthington. And they had Facade versus John McChesney for the Top Prospect Championship. Mike, fun fact. I'm going to get a reaction from you.
Yeah.
Facade's first ever pin in wrestling was John McChesney.
Wow.
That's
big league right there.
Facade was 2-0 against John McChesney going into this title match for John McChesney's championship.
Wow, that's long-term storytelling.
Yes. Yeah, because that was about 2008. Actually, maybe 7, because I think I'm in the crowd in the clip they showed. But anyway, so that was fantastic. And then the intended match, an unsanctioned match between Jamie Jamison and Jason Gorey, was unfortunately replaced because Gorey actually has a severed. They showed it on the screen, like a slice up his hand from the week before in another match. And they brought in something to give me PTSD from my Mania week, Mike, Otis Kogar. So, yeah, it is. Apparently, we don't give a fuck in Pennsylvania anymore. And between that and light tubes at the other show, and also for free, you can go check out the Cowpoke Paul's Big Roundup from Friday night over on the IndieWrestling.us network YouTube page as well. I think it should still also be on the Twitch. You can see some bands. You can see a lot of great stuff going on there out of New Kensington. A lot of great vibes going on in pro wrestling. You can check out all of it at IndieWrestling.us. And the cool thing is, it is this weird vibe happening where a lot of these wrestlers are like, if you want to see Cowpoke Paul, you will see Cowpoke Paul in 880 Wrestling in New Ken. You will see him at VCW. You'll see him at Rise. You'll see him pop up here and there at RWA. You'll see him pop up at 2PW. These guys are doing the circuit. And we have the circuit, guys, at IndieWrestling.us. So if you subscribe, you can follow like probably about 60% of Cowpoke Paul's career at this point. Because of where they're going. So go check that out. IndieWrestling.us. Support indie wrestling. Support the indie wrestlers. But, of course, please support IndieWrestling.us so we can keep bringing all these fine, upstanding, up-and-coming wrestlers. And you can go back and see Lee Moriarty's basically entire first bit of his career. And God.
Before he may be lost forever to the Hardy Company.
Yeah, before he started the dancing. Just... Before he was gonna smack a Hardy kid, apparently Friday night.
I'm waiting to see which Hardy child pins Lee Moriarty.
Yes, I am. How wild is that? How wild? How like that vector?
I told my wife because she randomly stumbled on Rebby Hardy's TikTok page without knowing who Rebby Hardy was.
And you explained?
I explained the whole thing.
Because she's doing like the goth baby thing right now, right?
Yeah, she's doing the goth baby thing, and my wife sent, as I'm sure everyone's friends and significant others send some TikToks throughout the day. I get this TikTok, I look at it, I'm like, I know that child, I know that mother, I know that house. What is this? This is weird. And then I saw who it was, and I'm like, oh, she doesn't know she stumbled onto a wrestling thing. This is funny.
And somebody you have had contact with on Twitter.
Yes, indeed. Someone who we both have had contact with.
Yes. I had personal contact with her. Okay, that sounds... She was at the same show and something about tables.
Yeah.
So, anyways, no, it's weird how those vectors are coming around. And Lee Moriarty, who sat on our couch and we tried to teach the lion face. I think his lion face is working out pretty well.
Lion face, lemon face. Oh my god, I completely forgot about that.
Yeah, we need to go find that clip. We might have to crop out some of the clip, but generally,
I completely forgot we did lion face, lemon face with Lee Moriarty. He's definitely in lemon face mode right now.
Oh, he is like perfected lemon face right now, hasn't he?
Yeah, he really has.
And I'm like, this guy's never gonna sound mean, and he's like, he got the mean voice. I'm like, the guy was way too nice. He's way too nice, and I love he's found his vibe. He's with the best people to learn it. So I mean, fantastic. Looking forward to see what Friday brings as far as that goes. I'm so happy.
Yeah, I'm very. I do not get excited for Rampage because it's mostly throwaway to me.
Oh, yeah.
I will be watching this Rampage because I'm very excited for it.
Oh, my God. I know you don't have Ring of Honor Club, sir.
Yes.
I implore you to go find Gringo Loco Vikingo, okay? You can also see the Gringo Loco Vikingo and, who's Aries, I think was the third person from Warrior Wrestling at Thalia Hall. Oh, no, that was the 4-way. But the other one should be up now. But anyways. Okay, first, go look up any Warrior Wrestling Vikingo match. I think they're all on YouTube right now. Okay, Mike, that's your assignment 1. Assignment 2, and maybe you won't do this in reverse order. Go 2 weeks ago on Honor Club. They did Vikingo and Gringo. I think it was the night that Vikingo was signed afterwards. Okay. This fucking match, if you want to know what the hell these two guys are about, this is the fucking match.
Oh, okay. I mean, I got what Vikingo was about. He's amazing.
Yes.
Fantastic.
But this will sell you on the Gringo, okay?
It's Gringo Loco?
Gringo Loco. And I'm sure
I've
seen
seen Gringo Loco matches.
Okay, but you...
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, no. Yeah.
Listen, watch the match. Everybody out there, if you don't know these guys, watch that match if you got the Honor Club, if it's up on YouTube, if it's somewhere, or you're buying a login, I don't care.
Oh, there's a GCW match on.
Oh, I'm sure they
YouTube.
did GCW. Check out the Warrior Wrestling matches with Vikingo, and the last one was him Gringo, and the third guy. I'm pretty sure it's Strange Aries from MLW, but I'm not 100% sure. It's all a lucha blur to me. I know the one at Talia Hall was the four-way that also had Black Taurus, Astro Boy, and Aramis, I think, in that one. And that's the one where they just kept fucking diving straight into the crowd. It was fucking nuts.
I mean, I see a Vikingo versus Phoenix and Vikingo versus Pentagon. So I mean, you know.
Yeah, all of these.
That always
All of these are good ideas for your watching this. Anyways, okay, I went into a blind lucha rage right there. What were we talking about? I was going to do a voicemail. I think I figured this out.
Yeah, you were going to
Hold
do
on
a
a second. Give me 1 second here. Let me just do a thing, and let me see if I can.
While you're doing a thing, I'll say
Hold
one
on,
other
no,
thing.
No, don't say anything yet. Don't say anything yet.
Okay.
Don't say anything yet. Okay, yes, because I reset the recorder. To do this the right way, because I didn't do it in advance. Okay, here is. I don't think I'm going to play this whole thing because we're going to get the gist of it and we can move on, okay? Because he did talk for 3 minutes. But here we go. I didn't do it right. Nope.
I was going to say, I don't hear anything.
I didn't do it right. I swear it worked a second ago.
Oh, like
Airwaves.
Oh, there it
and
is.
airways. Breathe me in. Woo! It is your boy, Bo fucking Diggity.
It sounds better than the phone
I
call.
know it's been a minute since I've blessed your airways,
Yes.
airwaves,
Sure.
and airways. Breathe me in
No.
with my dulcet tones.
Okay.
But I had a thought, and I had to get this out of my head and onto the podcast, because that is where thoughts go.
Apparently while I was driving.
Is Bianca Belair Lady John Cena? I'm just going to put my argument out there for you to hear, you to feel feelings about. She's crazy strong,
Sure.
crazy athletic.
Okay.
Everyone loves her as like a genuine human being, not like her wrestling style or whatever. But they love her as a human being. She's a super positive role model.
Mm-hmm.
She's a fucking superhero. Mm-hmm. Is Bianca Belair the Lady John Cena? Like, they're always going to make her a face and not turn her. Like, I can't imagine Bianca Belair turning and being a heel as her, sort of character.
And she started as a heel
I feel like she's
too,
Lady
right?
John Cena. And if that's the case, fine, salute to Lady John Cena. Becky can be Lady Stone Cold. Sorry, the man Stone Cold. Charlotte Flair is still Ric Flair. Like, she's Charlotte. She's his damn daughter.
Okay.
Bailey.
Now we're just casting everybody as Attitude Era.
What is
Bailey?
Hold on. I'm thinking this out loud. I don't know if you've ever done this shit before.
Maybe every week.
Is Bailey is Lady Sami Zayn. Like, there is a moment in which you could turn the Bailey character from Ding Dong and Damage Control into I wanted to win. I had to get back with my friends to win, or something along those lines. You could make that work.
I think he's stretching
and
here.
Everybody would love it. Like, you bring back Bailey with the waving arms, hugger Bailey. You bring that character back. Yes, everybody's in. Everybody loses their damn mind. Yeah, Bailey is Lady Sami Zayn. Well, this has been Bo F Diggity. The F is for female wrestling. And you're fucking welcome. Bye.
Okay. Later. Bye.
Okay.
All right. Well, there's that. Is Bianca the John Cena? Like, I can see a world where she never goes heel. I feel like it's unlikely in this day and age, but
I feel like eventually she's going to make that turn.
yeah.
Because the thing is, right now, the Bianca character has not experienced at least too much adversity.
Sure.
And I think that's when
That's when the
rubber
turn happens.
meets the
Yeah.
road.
Yeah. But again, so likable, doing the Make-A-Wish kid thing, with the entrance, it's a lot of that. Already has a bit of a mania streak going. Or are we three wins in a row?
3 wins,
3 wins, 3 peats.
Yep.
So, I mean, I do feel like she is the next Bianca, Charlotte, Becky, for sure.
One thing Bodiggity did say. Charlotte is not the female Ric Flair. They want her to be the female Ric Flair.
Yeah, I mean, that's the perception, is she's the second coming of Ric Flair, and
she's the female Randy Orton.
Because she keeps coming back, and you're like, oh, God, you're back again.
Yep.
Is that it? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, okay.
And you can very clearly tell when Charlotte and Randy Orton are engaged in what they're doing, and you can tell when they're not.
Yep. Yeah, okay, I'm with you on that. Yeah.
Yeah. And they're both kids who probably didn't want to do this when they were younger.
Mm-hmm. And came around to it. Yeah. Oh, wow. Yeah. Oh, wow. Yeah.
Yep.
Randy is such, I generally forget that Randy's a second generational wrestler. And I was just watching the third. Oh, I forgot about that even. Okay.
Yep. Third generation.
I was watching some. I was watching the Roddy Piper greatest hits on the Coliseum video on Peacock. I don't know. I just was the vibe I was in.
Yeah. Sure.
But all the classics are on that one. And I forget that he's because he's done so well. Like Charlotte Flair, you can't have her come out without thinking Rick because of the way they've positioned her, right? But
and also because of her music, looks, and mannerisms.
Yes, exactly what they've made her out to be, right?
Literally everything that she is.
Yeah, and that's fine, and that's fine, and that's great, and she's done it, and she's put enough of her own twist on things like that. I feel right. If that's what she's given, she has knocked it out of the park. Can't deny that.
Yeah.
Okay. No, she's the marketable character, exactly what WWE wants, and is very, 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 very good at it. Okay.
Yes.
You may not like it. You may not like she's always around, but you cannot deny Charlotte Flair's ability in there. Okay. He's doing the head bob. He's like,
It depends on if she's into what she's doing.
Absolutely. But longevity-wise,
sometimes she forgets how to wrestle.
Stay with me. Longevity-wise, yes, I think she is one of the best to be in.
Oh yeah,
just like Randy is, just like like Cena is, just like she's in that tier. Okay.
Yeah.
Bailey
that's why she was drafted 4th.
Bailey is Sami Zayn. I think you got to take a couple more drives around the block on that one. But Bailey's I see where you're trying to get there.
Bailey, if anything, is Kevin Owens.
Ooh. Okay.
Bailey, if anything, is Kevin Owens.
And unfortunately, I also want to say we're not trying to position these as male counterparts. We're trying to historically, because the women's things happening in women's division have not historically happened before. So our comparison points. Our generational comparison points, unfortunately, are the males. Someday down the line, we're going to say, this is the next Charlotte Flair, this is the next Bailey.
But also, even if we look at unless we knew more about Japanese women's wrestling, which unfortunately we don't.
No.
But
we have AJ back on.
There's no one-to-one to Trish. There's no one-to-one to China. There's no one-to-one to Lita. Yeah, there really isn't. Because they're all all the horsewomen at least have taken stuff from all of them and just made it their own thing. You can't in good conscience say oh yeah, Becky's just the new Trish Stratus.
Mm-hmm.
She's not.
Mm-hmm.
She's not. She's a completely different animal than what Trish was.
Mm-hmm.
Same thing. You can't say oh, Sasha Banks was just the next Lita. No, you can't really say that. There's no real good comparison. That's
No,
why
there
we're
isn't.
trying to,
There isn't. Like there's so much new ground being broken right now, So
like I think the closest thing is like Rhea Ripley is the next Beth Phoenix. I think that's probably the closest.
yeah.
Hell, you could even compare Rhea Ripley to China.
Yeah, it is. Like
They're even both associated with a Guerrero.
Could you imagine if China had herself the level of talent and the level of talent around her to be able to pull off what they had today? Like, I think it would have been phenomenal, right? But of course they, rolled her into the men's side and did what they did with her. And
Like
it was
if
a
they
different
had
era, and that's
China,
fine. Yeah.
if they had China come out with the Radicals,
Mm-hmm.
they would essentially be Judgment Day.
Oh yeah.
They would essentially be Judgment Day.
I could see that just with a little more eyeliner.
Well, yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, a little bit more eyeliner and maybe one less person in the Radicals.
some
But,
old school hot topicer out there is going yes. But anyways, no, I think that all works. Yeah, and I think Bianca's going to be mainstay. This is considered just within the past 20 years or so. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, this is true.
But again, that's like the closest thing. Like the last 20 years, again, I talk about that with Draft. Like there's this man, I don't know. I watched something. I was throwing stuff on in the background while I was attempting to get some work done this week. And I think I had on, and I barely watched it, but I had on the CM Punk Raven dog collar match, which I think about like 20% of that was an actual match. And then just let it play through to the next thing. This is the hour that I wasn't watching Transformers. It's the Awesome Cast. But it rolled into an elimination chamber. And this is the thing that always is so interesting to me. You generally, especially in the last 10 years, if you put up a random show, pay-per-view, you, except for little context clues about who's there, who's not, maybe who's on commentary. Mike, you're different because you have the flashcards. You have the Elimination Chamber flashcards. But generally, I challenge most people to say, what year is this? You know what I mean? Like, it's
it's difficult to do. Because, and another reason it's so difficult to do is because wrestlers these days, I'd say from, I want to say early 2000s, like new wrestlers that were starting up in the early 2000s, or the late, right before 2010s. They're taking a lot better care of themselves.
Yeah, they stick around. Miz has been Miz is
so
timeless.
The longevity is ridiculous.
Yes.
Like the longevity is absolutely ridiculous.
Reading the Moxley book, and he was like, "Oh, in 2011 we did this." I think that's when the Shield debuted, right? Something like that.
And do you know who he was? Do you know who he was? Because I was listening to a Moxley book again. Do you know who he teamed with? Joe Gacy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I heard that pop up too. I was like, "Oh, interesting."
I'm like, "Oh, all right." That's. But see, that's the thing. Like, wrestlers are taking so much better care of themselves outside the ring.
Yep.
Outside the ring.
Yep.
There's able to have that longevity.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's why, because if I pulled up a random Elimination Chamber match, I don't think I'd be able to get it without certain context clues.
No.
Because there have been guys who have been in so many of those matches, and they've wrestled for so long for the company.
Listen, this one had, and as I went through, I kind of figured out where we were in history. I couldn't tell you the year. This one was, I think Bryan was the champion. I think it was, I think Joe was in it because it was Bryan and Joe, Kofi, Orton. But I remember I looked around at the rest of it, like, this is all indie dream stuff here. I don't know if Cesaro was in it. But yeah, it was just like, wow, this is kind of interesting. And what it ended up being was, it looked like there was just like a 5-hour block on WWE's YouTube of Elimination Chamber matches. Which I think it was official. I might not have ended up on the official channel. To be quite honest, I'm not entirely sure.
If you were watching CM Punk versus Raven, you probably were not on the official channel.
Well, no, that was on Ring of Honor's channel. So the next one, I feel like it would have gone to another official channel. But who knows, because it's YouTube, right?
Yeah.
But it was just kind of interesting. I just had it on the background while I was just fucking doing whatever around the house. And yeah. It was just an interesting experiment. But that's what becomes, you know. And this is I don't know if it's a complaint, but it's just like, and that's why I like when something pops up that's a little, you know, grungier or dirtier or different, like an AEW and everything else, because it's just like, you know, I feel like I've watched, and this is my complacency over the draft. It's like I've been watching the same shit for 20 years, you know, and that's where if you've been literally just watching WWE for 20 years and haven't varied it, no wonder you're bored, right? They can only do so much to make you care, you know. It's and it's not terrible. It's kind of a victim of their own success, and not even a victim. They're doing fine, you know. It's just an just please take it as an observation, not a fuck WWE. It's just like it's we all wish we could only be so lucky to get to that point as somebody that runs a company, right? And, you know, at AEW, if AEW gets to the point where you don't see much change in the next 10 years, like they settled into something, right? Also, remember WWE came through a lot of changes in production. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like when you think from the early to late 80s, like looks like light years, feels like light years when you just look at the programming year over year, you know, into the Raw era and then year after year in Raw until you get to, you know, I'd say 2001, and then we just kind of leveled out from there. You know?
No, because we hadn't hit HD then yet.
Not HD, but still, I feel like the
no, but with HD came even higher production.
That is true. Like HD was the part where it really become the most homogenized, I'd say. You know, yes. we set into like when was the last? I think we've done this before. When was the last big new idea match? And I want to settle on either Elimination Chamber or Money in the Bank. I don't think we've done anything that wasn't a one-time thing.
And NXT Fight Pit.
We did it once.
They've done that several times. They've done that on a big pay-per-view.
Okay, they've done it a couple of times on NXT. Oh, wait, they did bring it over to a show,
main show,
right?
Yeah.
When did they do that?
It was Riddle and...
That was Thunderdome era, wasn't it?
It might have been Thunderdome.
But nothing that, like, we got an Elimination Chamber every year. We got a Money in the Bank every year. Like, nothing else has really, truly shaken up that pay-per-view concept other than we're going to go to a desert.
Oh, it was God, this is gonna bother me now. It was
it's a pay-per-view.
Riddle and Rollins.
Riddle and Rollins. Yeah, I remember. Okay, yeah.
So it wasn't Thunderdome either. It was in front of fans.
Oh, okay. But it was early on the comeback, wasn't it?
Daniel Cormier was there too.
Okay.
It was the same, believe it or not, it was the same show that Bray Wyatt returned.
Wow. Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Huh. Oh.
Because I remember I saw that because it was during New York Comic Con weekend. Mm-hmm. I saw it in a bar.
I don't know. It was just an interesting observation. It just, you know, that's why when we go to, oh my God.
You know, like there are new ideas. It's just a lot of the like back. You have to remember back in '89, the Royal Rumble was a new idea. Absolutely.
There was a lot of evolution that happened between 1984 and 2001. Like it was the you know, the whole like when we got the microchip and everything just like fast tracked from there in the like what 70s into the 80s, like what happened with technology. That's what happened with wrestling, right? Audiences, new ways to present it, you know, new ways to get people in, new ways to do matches, you know, that's what they did. And they like, okay, we have tightened all the screws on this, you know, and this is how we present wrestling, and this is the way, you know, this is the way. I mean, you see that when you play the video game in My Rise, right? We were just talking about the My Rise, about the name and name changing and everything. Because I was marveling. I'm like, wow, Dragon Lee. He's the first one in a while they haven't changed his name coming in. But again, he's got such a big brand going into it. And I don't think they've signed anybody with a big brand coming in since before COVID.
Not recently. No.
Because they were just doing PC people for a long time. Also, everything got jumbled up because of COVID. So I'm not gonna say much about that, but no, just an observation. Hey, before we get going, because I do want to, at least I want to my personal promise to get some sleep tonight. Wembley Stadium. I wanted to share with you before we go see if there's any news about how those sales are going. I understand probably pretty well. Tonight on NXT, they're talking with who's Von Wagner?
Mm-hmm.
With the guy that used to be the reality show guy that used to team with DJZ. Robert Stone, thank you. So they're going through some stuff with him, which ended up into a thing where they're going through baby pictures and they see something about him hooked up to like some medical equipment as a baby and stuff, and he just walked away not wanting to talk about it. But I didn't know his father was one of the Beverleys, apparently. Yeah. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So they're looking through, and this is interesting because All In London at Wembley went on sale officially today. And
I have the numbers straight from TK himself.
All right, we'll get that in a second. Yeah. But it was interesting, and again, not a jab. I mean, it was a little poke, but because they had it probably. But they were looking at pictures of Beverly in the ring at Wembley Stadium, and they had the big, just in this picture book, and it turns into the baby picture thing and whatever that's going to be. But I just thought that was kind of interesting when I looked up. I'm just like, wait a minute, it was just, but everybody's paying attention.
But also, I don't know if the Beverly Brothers have been on a bigger stage.
Absolutely.
Like that's the thing.
But still, to bring it up today of all times, is interesting.
Von Wagner just declared as a free agent, so it's not like, I don't think there's any correlation there. I don't think there is.
I also don't think there's a lack of correlation.
All right, fair enough.
We'll meet somewhere in the middle on that one. I think it's just a coincidental, hey, let's bring this up while we're doing this bit here, kind of idea. So because I mean this is a date that was on the calendar for several weeks.
Oh, do you know why they showed that? I think that might be the only time they challenged for the tag titles on pay-per-view.
Makes sense.
Because I'm just looking at Beverly Brothers SummerSlam '92. They unsuccessfully challenged the Natural Disaster for the
because he asked him,
that's probably why.
Because he's asking him, you're always upset that they never got the win or the rematch or something like that, and he's like, it doesn't bother me, kind of thing, right? So it was which is I mean it was you'll see you'll see the segment later, but I loved how it handled into what is coming up with this. So so you say you got numbers. They went on sale today. There were pre-sale signups that were supposedly on the 50,000 mark last I knew.
The number I have from TK here is 36,000 sold.
That's still not bad.
No, that's not bad.
That's still good. Not bad.
That's very good.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, like I said, when we talked about this, we figured they'd sell 50, 60, somewhere around there.
Mm-hmm.
And that's great. It's still going to be most likely the biggest show they've ever had.
This is the end of August is the show, I think.
I believe so, yeah.
So, and this is a company that, because we were talking about some trolls. There's something that tweets like bad wrestling takes that Merlin was showing me earlier. I know I've seen it in my feed before, but it was like, bro, AEW can't put 40,000 fans in a stadium. It was like, yo, they've done it twice in Queens. So, or the only reason they are is because they're in London or something like that. So, and by comparison, and this is, and I think this is apples and oranges when we go across overseas like this. New Japan, All In's currently on track to meet non-WWE superstars like Wrestle Kingdom, which saw 43,000 in at Wrestle Kingdom 12. I think they just did 17, if I'm not mistaken, and that was their largest attendance in many years, as well as Monday Nitro did 41,000 in the Georgia Dome. These are good comparison points here. Triple Mania Mexico City has been estimated at 48 to 50,000. Oh, right, that's Triple Mania 1 was the record down there. And so I'd be shocked if they did 90,000. I don't think it's going to happen. I don't think. But
I don't think they're expecting that.
No, I don't think they are either. I think this is a good starting point for them. I think this is, still 36,000 fans in a stadium. That's fantastic. It'll be arranged. That'll look fantastic, and accent it. It's not the days where we would do where they would do baseball fields and with Hogan and Andre and like half the stands are empty, because that always looked weird. Or even Wrestle Kingdom's always weird to me because like really there's nobody in the stands. It's all floor seating, and that's so wild to me. But you run to Tokyo now, I guess, right? So, and again, started at 36,000, surpassing previous record. Oh, I'm sorry. I apologize. Grand Slam and Arthur Ashe is only about 20,000. I thought that was a 40,000 seat stadium.
No.
Okay.
Yeah, when you said 40,000 in Queens, I'm like, I don't think that's right. I'm not.
Okay.
You were on a roll. So.
I am mistaken. But still, so now this actually surpasses their previous record at Arthur Ashe of 20,000.
Yeah.
So either way, they're growing. I mean.
Oh yeah, no, it's great.
No company in their first 5 years is going to do WrestleMania numbers. Like you build to that. AEW is still not the same level household brand as a WWE superstar. That's just a fact.
No, that's just going to take a while to build up.
Yes.
Like you're not gonna see. I don't know who would be the equivalent of The Miz and Alexa Bliss in AEW, but you're not gonna see like Britt Baker and MJF on Jimmy Fallon's show on NBC.
There's other reasons for that, but man,
well, yeah, I mean, but
God, what's their equivalent? Because they don't have. I don't know what the equivalent for Warner Brothers is. Who's going on? Bill Maher?
It was Go Big Show.
It was
the Go Big Show.
It was the Go Big Show, I guess. Yeah. No, they don't have late night or anything like that. So, CNN.
But no,
CNN?
Jimmy Fallon has a game show.
Yeah.
That The Miz and Alexa Bliss run.
But that makes so much sense because that's NBC and Peacock
of course,
and USA.
But Alexa was also on Fox's. Well, that makes sense.
Yeah. I don't know what you're getting at. I don't see him on Colbert.
But Jericho was also on Masked Singer. So,
there you go. Well, I mean they get everybody. So, but yeah, so yeah, that's good. So. I think that's good. First day of All In and pre-sale.
And Tina's also saying, as well as the Indies working on getting shows over there the same weekend, Defy and Progress announced a joint show for All In weekend.
And Defy.
That's gonna sell. That's gonna.
And I believe Defy also announced a joint show for Forbidden Door in Toronto. Mm-hmm. So those guys are getting everywhere.
Oh, one thing I wanted to mention. I know we're doing the Owen Hart tournament again.
Mm-hmm.
TK announced it.
Starting in Canada. Which makes
sense.
Don't
get me wrong. I love Owen Hart. I've spoken about my love of Owen Hart many times on this show.
Mm-hmm.
If you're just going to do a tournament that means absolutely nothing, and you don't mention it a week after, I don't really see the need.
Okay.
Like, I'm glad they're doing it. I'm glad they're bringing vision to the Owen Hart Foundation. All that stuff is gravy. I don't think we need 2 whole tournaments.
They did one last year, right?
They did a men's and a women's, and Britt Baker and Adam Cole won.
And I believe Adam got injured shortly after.
I believe so.
Okay, so I would position that maybe they intended to, but with that maybe they pulled back on it.
Nope, because they stopped mentioning it before the injury.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, they stopped. Yeah, no, because I remember I'm like, oh, okay, maybe they'll take this since it was Britt Baker and Adam Cole. Maybe they'll defend these titles as a unit, like a mixed. And it becomes a mixed tag thing. That'd be kind of cool, but they did not do.
I don't mind it being a one-off
with them, and they stopped even mentioning.
I think it serves a purpose. I think it's like a King of the Ring,
But King of the Ring always got a title shot.
Okay. Yeah.
Like, that's the thing. Like, if you're going to do something with it,
Mm-hmm.
like, if the winners get something besides a trophy and a belt, fine. Proceed as.
Put this to the audience. Let us know. GoodTimesAtWrestlingMayhemShow.com. What would you like to see that would maybe bring a little more interest and prestige to the Owen Hart tournament? Or is it just fine the way it is? Let us know. There or at us at Mayhem Show on the Twitter.
Feel free to send us voice memos.
Voice,
that's
the
gonna
voice.
be
I
fun.
love the voice memos.
Yeah, the voice
Yes.
memos. I'm
Keep them
down
under
with
a minute, but but yeah, definitely that. Let's open that
Send
door
us
up.
voice memos when you're drunk.
Guys, let's find out what we learned in wrestling and get out of here so I can try to get a nap.
Okay.
Mike, what did you learn in wrestling this week?
Okay, so I now this is what I think I learned.
Are
Okay?
you unaware?
Well, no, time will tell.
Okay.
Time will tell on this one. I think I learned why John Cena's latest shirt is G.I. Joe themed.
Is it going to be in G.I. Joe movie?
No. But apparently, John Cena has an unspecified role in the upcoming Barbie movie. I think John Cena is playing G.I. Joe in the Barbie movie.
I was under the understanding that he was a mermaid. Did I hear that wrong?
I've heard unspecified role.
Is this going to be like the Lego movie?
Yes. Oh, very much so. Even with Will Ferrell as the guy that's in the real world.
Oh my
God. Yeah. No, but like
Okay. All right.
that's my running theory. So I'm not sure if I learned it, but I might have learned.
My
learned,
third eye may have learned.
Yeah. What I actually learned is, I learned that the draft has always been for new people to get new opportunities. I hope that holds true with the NXT call-ups.
Let's see what happens.
Yes. And we need to split up those tag titles soon. We need to split them up.
Yeah, I think that'll be happening sooner than later. Gotta do something. What did they officially get drafted to?
Well, Pretty Deadly got drafted to SmackDown.
But no, the
But
champions.
Owens and Zayn got drafted to Raw.
They're drafted to Raw with both belts, supposedly.
Yep.
I think we're gonna hear something after Backlash.
Yeah, Backlash is gonna be weird because like you have two future SmackDown people competing for the Raw title. You have a SmackDown and a Raw person competing for the SmackDown title.
Yeah, I hate this fishiness with the.
That's the only thing.
going.
That's like I wish we just had different names and non-colors for the two women's titles. Like I wish there was like a women's Universal Champion and a women's World Champion.
Yeah. No.
That would
Oh
make things
wow,
a
I would
lot
love
easier.
that. That would be
That
so
would
much
make things-
better. Jeez.
Make things a lot easier.
Make it easier and elevate them. Say this is the women's title. That is to the women as big as this title, and like not treated as a secondary as much. Yes.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah.
I learned that even the elite think the Bloodline's a better storyline. Have you seen these clips?
Wait, what?
There's two clips from Being the Elite. They've been shared around on Twitter.
Okay.
It's
No, I don't watch that anymore.
I know you don't. So
I never really
Takeshita-
watched it to begin.
So Takeshita as like quasi joined the Elite in recent weeks, right?
Yes,
you are aware.
He's Wish.com's Kota Ibushi. Yes.
Yes, he's the yes.
Because I'm pretty sure TK thought he was signing Kota Ibushi, and he wrote a whole story for Kota Ibushi.
He's Kota Ibushi, and
then they're like, Kota Ibushi's not signing yet. We'll just throw Takeshita in.
Sure.
That's just me. Because it seems like exactly the storyline they would be putting Kota Ibushi in.
Anyways, so like when the Jacksons are the Bucks are kind of explaining like the thing with Paige and everything like that, and he's like, first he goes like, I don't speak much English, and then he's like Bloodline better or something like that, and he freaks him out, and then at the end of the thing, Kenny Omega, they're talking to Kenny Omega, and he's like, can you believe Takeshita thinks that Bloodline's a better thing? And he's like, yeah, I believe that story. There's a face palm there.
I mean, it is.
Yeah, I know. Oh yeah,
It just is a better story.
Listen,
I'm sorry.
They are aware of everything we are aware of. Okay, I'm pretty sure.
So, do you follow Xavier Woods on Twitter?
I'm sure I do.
Okay. Someone tagged Kenny Omega and Xavier Woods in a gaming tweet.
I saw something was going on between them.
And Kenny quote tweeted and said, there's still time for you to edit this tweet and take Woods out. We won't tell anyone. and Woods responded with just a gif of CM Punk going, "Sure thing, pal." I lost it. Lost my mind. Like, that is, oh my God. Just everything is wonderful.
This is that thing. This is that thing. And we talked about the backstage thing last week, right? Because apparently everybody's just hanging out at Impact, right? Apparently in Chicago, anybody can hang out anywhere and play cards backstage.
Hold on. One important thing we need to mention. Speaking of Impact, I cannot wait to see what Trinity does in Impact.
Sure.
Cannot wait. That is going to be
that's the right answer.
I don't exactly know how to watch Impact, but you better believe I'm going to try and find her promo where they give her a live mic.
Oh, just follow you. It'll all be on YouTube, and they'll have clips and everything. So just do that.
Tina just said we didn't even talk about Trinity and Impact. That's why I'm like, I wanted to bring it up and completely spaced on it. But yeah, that's going to be really exciting. And I would not be surprised if that show in Philly in August, we get Trinity versus Mercedes Moné. Or hell, get them tag teaming.
I love it. We'll see what happens there. There was a quick reminder for the folks mocking Trinity for working Impact Wrestling, and it's a batch of images that says Impact signs Cody, new world champion Drew Galloway, and he's here, Kenny Omega. So
there's nothing wrong with working for Impact.
No, it is a great place for people to start over.
It's especially a great place for women's fucking wrestling.
Yes, absolutely fucking yes.
It is the best place for women's wrestling, short of a women's wrestling promotion.
Side note, and I will say this because Maria said nice things to me one time. Women's Wrestling Army, there's a documentary going around. I think you can subscribe to them on YouTube, much like you can with Impact Wrestling and IndieWrestling.us. But great promotion. We worked on some content for them about a year ago. But they did a documentary, and they have great women's matches going on there. I believe they're also featured on Pro Wrestling TV, which is on every app store that you can put on TV and phones. So highly recommend this promotion. Bobby Cruz and Maria Kanellis are the spearheads on this thing, and it's just a wild lineup of women's talent that you know and probably should know. So just put that out there. Again, you can subscribe, see the free stuff, however you want to do that. So just put that out there. Tina had from the chat room, and I lost it. There it is. She learned WWE knows when they keep a fire ring intro intact. Samantha moved to Raw and go Kraken. Samantha
Irvin, the ring announcer for SmackDown, because Ricochet got drafted to Raw.
Oh yeah, so good. They're not separated.
Which is good.
Good.
I'll be honest. When I saw Ricochet drafted to Raw, I'm like, oh, so that's kind of messed up that the only couple they keep apart is those two. But no, she's moving to Raw, and honestly, that's a much bigger platform for her, and she deserves it because she is the best ring announcer going. I'm gonna say.
I disagree on size of the platform.
Raw?
SmackDown's bigger. No.
I'm saying in terms of the flagship show.
There's more people see Fox. I think more people get. SmackDown is, I believe, the most. I haven't seen ratings, but I'm pretty sure it's the most viewed, just on principle.
Well, yeah, no, it is.
So,
just by virtue of the fact that it's on Fox.
So I mean, as far as biggest platform, that's the biggest platform.
It's the Raw is still the A show, regardless.
Sure. Side what I learned. I have to mention this before I go. There's a few moments from SmackDown the last couple of weeks that I loved. There's a point that looked like a botch where Braun grabbed Ricochet after he got in the ring, and I think they were fighting the Viking Raiders, and he just threw them at his opponents and then completely whiffed it. Okay, all right, you know where I'm going with this. And then the next week on SmackDown, he goes to throw him. I think like it was like a triple threat or something like that, maybe. So there's a bunch of guys on the outside, and he goes to grab him, and Ricochet's like, no, and he's like, it's okay, they're all over there, man. And he like crosses himself and then gets thrown. That was
it.
Oh my
I
God.
will never get tired of one man using his tag team partner as a weapon. It worked with me with the Bushwhackers. It works with me with anytime Rey Mysterio teams with a larger man. Like it just always.
Yep. Also, R.I.P. AEW Dark Elevation.
Wait, what?
Yeah, they ended it last week.
Oh, was there a big blow off? You know,
they did
off all those storylines.
Come on, Mike. Come on, Mike. Come on. What the hell?
Did CM Punk come out and say we're taking over?
Of course, this is amid the rumors of a new show popping up on Saturday nights, supposedly Collision on TNT was one CM Punk, supposedly. We'll see. We'll see what happens there. Okay.
Well, I'm looking forward to the graphic tomorrow afternoon that Tony Khan has a big announcement. So.
I mean, they've been doing like 4 matches a week on that in Dark, so it was like, something's up here. And this, we talked about this before. Like, a lot of that energy, I think, is shifted to Ring of Honor. Ring of Honor is serving the purpose. Also, I think that AEW has ended their long-standing COVID indie wrestler support program. So, you know.
Oh, yeah. I assume that's been done for a while.
Yeah, no, you've been seeing it filter out a bit, and you got the regulars, even when like the lower talent you're seeing on like, you know, on Ring of Honor are like, you're like, oh, these people have been here for a while, you know, so it's become like that kind of thing. So, but still, Ring of Honor is, as I was saying as we were watching it here in Pittsburgh, I was like, so really, Ring of Honor is just Dark and Elevation, but with a 20 count and a handshake. Right, and more title matches. Okay, I'm down for this, you know, but it's still Ring of Honor, you know. It still feels better than the last 5 years of Ring of Honor TV, Mike. I'm good. So, and you can watch it.
Yeah, I can.
You can. It's okay.
Probably not going.
It's all right, but I know you're busy with your NXT flashcards. Mike, thank you so much for joining me here.
Thank you for having me.
I don't know why I just did that like you were a guest.
I don't know why you did either.
See, the couch is empty. There's no guest here. The pizza is gone. It's all. So
pizza is gone.
The lights run low. The pizza is gone. It's
we
time
definitely
to
went two
end
different songs there.
Another show.
We definitely went two.
That's our new. Okay, we need to write the lyrics to the new Wrestling Mayhem Show outro song in the style of, I guess, the Muppet Show.
Oh yeah.
Is that what I was doing?
It's time to close the Zoom now. It's time.
It's time to put the pizza in the fridge. It's
It's time to close the Zoom now. It's time for Patreon.
Like a really melancholy, just kind of outro to the song. It was like,
or we could take the riff of Closing Time by Sammy.
No, yeah, we could. We gotta make it our own. Anyways, thank you guys so much for joining us. It has been your Wrestling Mayhem Show at MadMike483 on the Twitter. Follow me at Sorgatron. I will probably have pictures of wearing a cheese head sometime in the next 5 days. So that'll be excitement. Until then, guys, thank you so much. Thank you, chat room, hanging out with us, including who I know, Tina on the West Coast, Alex Miller on the West Coast. I saw Bradley in there at one point, and so many more. Dave Podner, and
yeah, Podner said he wasn't gonna make it to the end.
No. So I won't even.
He was right.
We won't even know. Thank you guys so much. We'll see you guys next time. Mayhem out.
Just wait, just wait, just wait, just wait. Wait for the perfect time, then attack. Don't give up what you want, take it back. Wait for the perfect time, then attack. This show is a member of the Sorgatron Media Podcast Network. Find out more at sorgatronmedia.com.